I am your father.
It's okay. Aloha and welcome to Lucy's Paradise Podcast. It is I. Please like and subscribe. I'm with Alexis Monet. What
Uh,
up?
what is up? We're doing this.
We're doing a podcast. Anyway, it was
Okay.
we have a singing break, and I'm gonna eat my Lunchable while we do this one. But we are going to discuss today growing up without a dad
The father.
versus growing up with one. Wait, but I also want to actually. There's a difference too between dad and father. I
Bruh.
recently figured this out.
Okay.
People were telling me,
About this.
allegedly.
Allegedly. Okay.
So I'm gonna reflect on my father. We're gonna reflect on our fathers. Talk about father wounds. Yeah, and go from there. Do you want to open up the gates while I open up my Lunchable?
So the gates.
I can't talk about my dad without eating, or I'm gonna cry.
Okay. Okay. I can give you a little backstory on my dad.
Yeah, give me the lore.
He's not in my life.
Loser.
My
No, I was kidding.
biological dad. My biological dad. He's
Mm,
in my life. But
okay.
there has been, you know, someone that stepped up and was like, "I'll be your dad." There's been multiple actual people that have been like, "I'll be your dad," and that has been a whole nother experience for me. But I didn't get to experience until like later in life,
How
like
much later?
um, my 20s, like early,
Oh shit.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Do you have daddy issues? I'm just kidding.
no, actually, no, I don't actually like.
No, you don't think so?
No, but I do appreciate now having, I guess, men in my life that like teach me their ways, and it is nice to like have a male figure in my life because I've been surrounded my entire life by like women, strong women. So it's nice to have a male presence in like a fatherly way. It's just really nice. Yeah.
So who's this person? Like someone from church or family friend?
Yeah. So it's actually she was my just like coworker, and so her and her husband, they're like, we will be
Mm.
your parents. And I was like, okay. But like also years before that, I like all these instruments behind me, and there's more, you just can't see them. There's a guy that was watching my streams because I used to stream back in 2015, and he was watching my streams, and he would be like, hey, let me get you instruments, or whatever you need. And he became like more like a dad, you know, when I would like travel
Like a
in
sugar dad.
this area. What did you say?
Like a sugar dad.
No, not even like that. It's not like even that. No, it's genuine. Like,
I'm just kidding.
yeah. It's actually just nice to have some genuine connections because things are so fake these days.
Bro, I nobody wants to buy me instruments. The fuck?
I feel very honored and
What
blessed.
kind of followers I have?
But I'm your father right now.
No, followers.
Oh! I was like, oh, I'm your father. I don't know what I thought you said. When you said followers, what'd you say? What was your question?
I said, how come I don't have followers that are buying me instruments?
Oh, I don't know. It was from like It was like from 2015. The last instrument he gave me it's an all wooden Hondo like electric guitar, and
Oh
I
my
named it
god.
Alejandro.
What the fuck?
Yeah, yep.
When I was a kid, I bought my own guitar, but my dad did teach me how to be an entrepreneur, how to be a hustler.
Hustler. I think my dad, he he's super like crafty and like good with like cars and stuff. And I feel like I'm just learning a lot. I'm learning a lot.
Wait, so
My chosen dad. Chosen dad.
good, I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So where is your biological dad now? Or do you not know?
Somewhere around,
Were you like a baby and he just wasn't there like from the very beginning?
I think from the very beginning, he tried to be, but I don't think he was allowed.
Mm,
And then,
okay. What is his deal? Or do you not want to say?
no, I genuinely really don't know. I think he's just like a pretty chill guy.
Okay, so like he wasn't like a drug addict or something.
I think he was in jail when I was born.
So
That's why he wasn't allowed to
oh,
see me.
I see. Well, he
Uh,
couldn't.
or
Can't
couldn't.
you
Yeah.
can't go out and like, and then like bringing a kid to jail and like to visit their dad, like that's not good. I don't think, you know.
Right, but also I think it was like my grandma knew like his background and didn't want me a part of it. So in a way, when I
Mm.
meant like allowed, I wasn't even talking about jail. I meant like my grandma was like, no, I don't want that
Mm.
around you. So he was not allowed to see me. I remember one of the last vivid memories of him that I have was my grandma was kind of putting me, like not putting me, but like pushing me like in the car because he had came to our church and like he was yelling across the parking lot. He said, "Hi, I'm your dad." And then my grandma was like, "Get in the car, get in the car." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So then I like got in the car and we just drove away. That was like my last vivid memory.
Whoa. But you don't know why they were protecting you from him.
Well, I guess it was because at the time, like his background and all the things that he was like, doing wasn't good.
He was a criminal, probably.
Probably.
Mm.
I feel like in his older age,
Damn,
I
that's a
think he
that's a
was,
crazy memory, bro.
yeah. All good though.
He's like, I'm your dad. And you're like, you never bought me McDonald's, bitch, you ain't shit. You yell back. Dude, could you imagine? Like we make a movie of your life and then we add that scene in there, but we're like,
I
you're
didn't
like a
even
little
have,
kid, like you're like a little kid like flipping him off or something. Like some crazy
bro.
unhinged shit.
Yes.
Your grandma's like Medea.
Stop. No, because I actually had no time to respond because I was
Bro,
getting up in the car.
I wanna come to your house for Thanksgiving so fucking bad.
Oh my gosh.
I just wanna like say all kinds of shit.
My family is so dysfunctional. We don't even get together anymore. So I go
Damn,
to
that's the
my,
best kind of
I
family to be around on a holiday, bro.
I go to my
Shit.
chosen parents' house for holidays
You're like,
now.
who ate all the fucking turkey and cranberry? And you're like, what?
It wasn't
And it's
even
just
fighting over
drama.
food because my grandma made sure
As soon as there's a fight, we just go live, bro. We just
there
go
was
live on TikTok.
world star.
Damn, that's a crazy memory. I'm just putting myself in your shoes as a kid and like thinking about. Like, I think in a good way, like you don't really know what you're missing out on as a
Right.
kid, right? Because you don't feel like you're missing out on anything because there's nothing to compare it to. So you're just
Actually,
going
I did.
along.
I did
Oh,
because I grew up like when I so I switched schools and I went to a like predominantly white school and
mm,
they had dads, right? And so the dads would show up to things or like we'd have projects and they'd be like, yeah,
mm.
my I remember staying up late working super hard on a project for science class and I brought it in the next day and the first thing that someone said to me when I walked through the door, they were like, did your dad help you build that? And I was like, no, I built it myself. But and then so then I was just like, well, I wish I had a dad. Like I wish I knew what it was like to have a dad. So then I like started searching on Facebook and I found him and we like a friend requested him and then like I had a moment of like, ooh, I want to know, and then I pulled back. Then I didn't want to know. And I was like, I don't know. And it's kind of been like that.
You probably message him like, "Hi, Dad," and then he'd be like, "Yo, can I have $20?" I'm just kidding. Can you imagine?
No, because that is the vibes that I was getting, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm
Yeah, I'm
okay.
your dad. Venmo me.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
I brought you into this world, and you're gonna give me $20. I'm like, what?
I don't know. I'm making up a scenario, but
Yeah.
I have a friend named Aaliyah. Probably shouldn't have named her, but it's fine. Nobody knows her. And
Wow.
we have these very deep conversations because she knows her dad, but she doesn't trust him. It's been a thing where like she's invited him back into her life before a few times, and he's always disappointed her.
Okay.
And in we do talk about that, and we've had like a lot of really deep talks, and and I said honestly, I was like, dude, you're doing great.
Yeah.
Like that sucks. I'm like, but if you know you cannot rely on somebody, you're almost better off not having them in your life, And she's like, yeah, and he's disappointed her so many times.
Yeah, and then
So
at some point you got to be like, okay, not for
I've
me.
seen that story too. Like I've seen the story of like trying to get a redemption, but like they're just gonna be whoever they're gonna be,
I
and
saw before that. I saw what it could have been, and I was like, oh, I don't want this. That's why I like kind of
and it sucks because you can't predict the future,
yeah.
but it's like it is a risk, you know what I mean?
And
I mean,
some
any
it is a risk.
relationship,
It
but
is a risk. Like what do I want to risk it? I
at
don't
this
think.
point, it's almost like he will benefit more than you will, maybe. Yeah, because it's like, yeah, you're gonna benefit because you already missed out on so many years of my life, and cool, you can be in some of them now, but it's like, what are you really gonna get out of it at this point? You
Well,
never
the
know.
crazy part is you're gonna be coming into the better years of my life, and I'm really, really rocking with the people that were there when I had nothing. Because I'm
Yes.
only going
So it's
forward.
like, I don't know,
Like
it's so hard to give people like that weren't there from the beginning like a chance too.
I'm an Aquarius, you don't
You
really
know.
get chances. That's not a thing.
Well, before we get into my dad, that's because there's a whole lot. Thank you for sharing, by the way. I always appreciate when you do get deep about your life, and obviously this isn't an easy topic
Mhm.
in general, but it's also not an easy topic for me because my dad has passed away, so it's like sad. But
Right.
within the sadness and just that fact, I mean, everybody dies, so I try to look at it that way. And I am thankful, and I become more thankful that, and especially when I have friends that didn't have fathers, in their life, I become so much more thankful that I have the memories to look back on, the lessons. I mean, my dad taught me everything I know. But
Yeah.
before I get into that, this shirt actually is my merch. It's my album cover.
Okay.
Well, it's not actually an album cover. It's like my song design that I made into a shirt, and this is actually really fucking high quality shirt. So if you want one of these, you can go to streamlabs.com/Lucy in the gym slash merch. I'll put the link in the description. And it says Triple Gemini. It's pretty dope.
Let's go.
And back to sadness. All right. So yeah, I some of my earliest memories with my dad are we have like a swap meet here. And I would go with my dad very early in the morning. I mean, before the sun is even awake, before the sun is even up. Nobody's awake, 3, 4 in the morning. And we'd go to the swap meet, and he taught me how to set up the tent. He taught me how to put out the merchandise. We sold magnets and sunglasses. And that evolved over time slightly too. But my parents had a business, and this was my introduction to entrepreneurship and business as a kid.
Yeah.
And eventually it evolved to where I ended up bringing my Pokemon cards. I was the first person to ever bring Pokemon cards to the swap meet as a child. I was about, I don't really remember how old I was,
Yeah.
maybe 6, 7, 8, maybe those years. Um,
Mhm.
and I made so there were days I made more money than my parents did selling Pokemon cards. And they were like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And I just maximized on something that was recently popular. It all just came out. I probably sold a fucking Charizard, who knows, for like $3. Who knows, right? And people will cringe at that because you're like, what? But see, you have to remember, like, this was a different time, right? Like
It was.
this all just came out. We didn't know what Pokemon was gonna be at this time. I actually have a lot of those cards that
Mhm.
ended up getting passed down to my nephew, and he protects them with his life. So I
Yeah.
trust him to have a lot of my original collection, and I've just moved on. I'm not stressed about it. I have a whole nother Pokemon collection, but my dad taught me about business. He taught me about the importance of not really selling. My dad wasn't really a seller.
Yeah.
He built really cool friendships and connections with people, and if they wanted to buy something, yeah, like here I am. But my dad was so loved. We would
Yeah.
go on errands, and everybody knew my dad. We would go, to the mechanic, and they would hook him up with a discount. They knew my dad, and I was like, dang, like everyone knew my dad. It was hard to even get away with stuff. I got pulled over one time,
Yeah.
and the cop looked at my license and was like, "Is George your dad?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they let me go. They're like, "Get out
Yeah.
of here." And I was like, "What?" And I
Yeah.
didn't even realize
Yeah.
like all these connections my dad had, and I was like, "Geez."
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how I keep his spirit alive, is by being very similar. And we're different in a lot of ways, but my dad taught me how to drive stick shift. I learned in like 30 minutes. He taught me how to change a tire.
So
Basically, he thought I was a boy. So,
wonderful. Which was perfect because you know, I think in my personal opinion, gender should not be assigned to like learning things. But it's a perfect
yeah.
example. It's a perfect example
He
because like
probably wished like my brother would be interested, but I was more interested in these things.
right,
And
and
so that's
it
kind of why
doesn't
we
matter.
had such a bond.
Right, and that's cool that he could bond with his daughter about that. Like that's
Mhm.
super cool to me. Like it didn't matter, the roles of, like, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
that was just, it's a wonder, and it's a wonderful memory to have. I'm sitting here smiling just like at everything you're telling me, cuz like I think you're an amazing person, and I can tell that your dad was an amazing person just from like how you are and who you are. So, let's go. Let's go.
You know, he really was genuinely, and I have friends that have met him, you
Mhm.
know, he's met a lot of my super close friends that I've known, obviously when he was alive.
Yeah.
And my friend Maddie, she actually did a podcast with me when she came back to Hawaii, and she talked about my dad. And she was like,
Mhm.
"Oh my gosh, your dad was like so amazing." And my dad always treated my friends very well.
Yeah.
He wasn't perfect, but he treated my friends very well. And, he wasn't very judgmental. He probably kind of made let you do whatever you want a little too much. Like he was like the chill parent, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
And so it's easier. My dad just wanted to be loved. So it's easier to be loved when you're the chill parent, right?
Yeah.
And I'm learning as I get older that that might not necessarily be the best approach as a parent, but I have a ton of memories with him, which is amazing. I remember distinctly, and one that just encompasses his personality in terms of competitiveness. My dad was so competitive,
Yeah.
but when I was young, we played one-on-one basketball. My dad was whooping my ass. And
Yeah.
just FYI, my dad was extremely good at all kinds of sports, all kinds of things. He taught me all kinds of things. Just really incredible guy. Like when I look back at it, I don't think I really realized,
Yeah.
and which is, and I'm a kid or I'm younger, like, so obviously you don't necessarily realize all the same things until you become an adult.
Yeah.
But I just remember he was talking so much shit, and like I was getting pissed. And then he
Uh-huh.
pulled me aside for a second.
Sorry.
No, you're good. And he pulled me aside. I'm kind of on a ramble about him, but
No, 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 no. I'm just
it's kind of like that game when you play that one-on-one game and someone's like talking mad shit and it's actually getting to you.
yeah.
And he pulled me aside and he was like, he looked at me and he was like, "This is what you have to do when you play a game. Get into their head." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "I'm getting in your head right now." He's like, "I don't care about winning this game." He's like,
Yeah.
"But I'm making you think, like I'm basically effing with you right now." And I was like, "Oh my god." And I was like, "Damn." Like he taught me the psychological mind games
Yes.
of like getting into and so it was like that's what he was showing me.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Damn, okay, I get it." Like, and so then I also learned to like not care. Like, don't take it so seriously sometimes, like
Right.
don't care so much. But that was freaking good because that's true,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes when you're
Good.
competing, if you
Uh-huh.
could just get into a couple people's heads, like they can fuck up, right? They make mistakes. And I'm like, dang. So I've learned, I just take all of these. In hockey, I didn't always like, so when I play sports, like I sometimes act like that, but not always. I'm much more humble, I think. Um, but my dad was not at all. Not at all. And it was funny. But it made it entertaining.
Yeah.
But I think there's a difference between a dad and a father because there are also dads that are present, but
Yeah.
like only financially present, not like present as in memories. And
Yeah.
so I think that also matters. Like being involved in your kid's life matters. And you're an amazing person too. So like clearly your grandma was doing something right, and her protection of you like was to preserve. Basically she was protecting you from who knows, like and if that's such a question to you even today,
Um.
you might not want to know. You
Right.
might not want to know what he
Yeah.
was up to.
Yeah. I think I'm better
Like
off.
she was
Yeah.
really saving you, man, because if
Yeah.
you're as awesome as you are, then you have to assume, or maybe you can assume that that wasn't maybe a good route and a good person to expose you to. So
Yeah, and as a kid, like you're looking at it as like, why are you not letting me? Blah blah.
well, right, and then kids bring up dad stuff and you're like, oh, and then it makes you think about it, and then it's like, but you know what, you probably would have never thought about it if they didn't bring it up, because you were already chilling in your life, like
Mm-hmm.
I definitely don't think I appreciated my dad as much.
Okay.
He would piss me off a lot. I was always kind of a dick to him a little bit.
Okay. That
But
thank you.
he
That's honest.
also what's that?
I said thank you for sharing that. That's very honest.
Yeah, I mean, but he well, like one of the scenarios is like he would watch every single one of my hockey games, so he was always there for me. But at the end of every game, I had a list of critiques.
Yep.
He basically gave me a list of critiques of what I could work on, and it wasn't horrible, but like I feel like he never saw some of the good stuff I did, and it would frustrate me.
Yeah.
Like nothing I do is good enough, you know.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no, you get, and then so I would get pissed off. Like it would really affect me.
What's that mental?
And I was like, dude, just come to the game and like shut the hell up, you know? But
Yeah.
he did know his limit. Like he didn't always do that. But I definitely, I mean, I had a temper on me as a kid too. I had a huge temper on me. So I was
Yeah.
just always getting pissed. I just never really liked being told anything. So
Right.
for him,
Well,
but his critiques were right. Like his critiques were right.
yeah. You realize that, and it's like it's for your betterment, but like the way you see it at the time, it's just like
Well, it's frustrating too because it's like it's your parent, it's not the coach, you know, and you already probably got
that.
told by the
That
coach. So
part.
then it's
That.
like, bro,
Yeah.
yeah, I know the coach just told me like give it a rest, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. I see.
but yeah, my dad was just trying to make me better, and I think he saw my potential and my athleticism,
Yeah.
and he was really good at math, so he did help me with homework a little bit. And math wasn't my best subject, but yeah, he was. It was so weird, like the stuff that he knew, you know. And he couldn't say cappuccino, but he could help me with a math homework. Like what?
Stop
Like
playing, Lucy. Stop.
I'm serious. Yeah.
I,
Well, my dad is from the Philippines. He was from the Philippines.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So they have
Yeah.
like a strong accent, or did he speak like
He
any like?
spoke. He spoke Tagalog. Yeah. So he spoke Tagalog. He spoke English fine. He just there were certain words he couldn't say, and we always like made fun of him because he
I'm
couldn't
about
say
to
it.
say, I know you
We're
made
like,
fun.
Dad, what is this? And he's like,
You
cappuccino,
still
cappuccino, and we're like, no, and we would just laugh, you know, like. But he
here?
didn't care. That's what's so
Yeah,
funny.
yeah,
He didn't care to be laughed at. He and then you laughed at him, and he would be
yeah.
like, laugh at me, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
He was
Oh, I
funny,
love
dude. He was
that.
goofy. He was super
Yeah.
goofy.
Oh my gosh. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that.
So I said a joke at his funeral, and I said the joke because um it was something that like he did to me when he was alive, and I'm like, oh, this would make a good joke though. And
Mm.
so at his funeral, I actually made everybody laugh because I said, one day I went up to my dad and I was like, Dad, don't you should learn sign language. And he's like, I do know sign language. I was like, oh, you do? And he goes, yeah. And everybody started laughing at the funeral, and I was like, that was his humor, right? Is like
Right.
he would just make a joke out of it and then just like this is funny. So I was like, he was my dad was the original troll. He was the original
Yes.
troll.
Yes. Let's go. Okay. Let's go. This is where you
He was the
came from.
original troll, dude. He was
I
trolling.
love.
He's trolling me. He's trolling me all the time.
I love it. I love it. It's so crazy, like seeing how much of like your personality develops from a certain person, like a, your parent. That's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think about him every time I play basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, the court that we played at, that game that I was thinking of, that I was telling you, I
Yeah.
know exactly what court that is,
Yeah.
and and the reason I look back at that particular memory is because when he got sick and stuff, my dad, he ended up getting cancer, survived prostate cancer, and then he had other like health issues down the road, which led him into the hospital. But I think about that moment a lot because that was a moment when he was very physically able still. So for him to be able to like do a layup and like shoot, like I remember seeing him be physically athletic, so I
Yeah.
know I got a lot of that stuff from him. I probably got majority of my personality, especially when I'm being funny or goofy, like silly, like from him. I look like him. I have
Yeah.
all the dark features. I just talk like my mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Okay.
my dad had the cheat code because he would just work and then he would come home and watch sports. That was it. That was like his whole routine. That was his life.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was content. He was fine. His life was that was it.
That sounds amazing to me.
Yeah, no, he had the cheat code. And so, like, looking back, you're like, damn, man, like, dad doesn't do nothing. But no, now that I know, now that I'm older, I'm like, damn, no, he had the cheat code. He, like, had everything figured out and he just wanted to watch sports all day.
Just
Like,
chill.
kind of same, yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. It is so cool, like with that dynamic in your life. Like for me, okay, so I was at work one day and my dad was like, "I'm gonna pick up your car and I'll take it to the mechanic, like while you're at work." I was like so shook because I'm like, first of all, who is out here doing this? This is so nice. Like I was raised like super independent. My grandma was my dad. My grandma was my
Right.
mom. My grandma was
Yeah.
my grandma. And so I was very independent because she had to be very independent. And so it has really been like a crazy dynamic seeing this man come into my life and like just like do things that I'm like, people do this? And it's like it's really cool to hear your experience because like that was your normal. And now I'm like learning that like oh dads are they can be there for you. Like they are a positive thing because for me like
Yeah.
a lot of my childhood was centered around like men in general just being more of a negative thing.
Oh, I see, I see, I see. Yeah, yeah. And I can see that, obviously I lucked out because my dad, was like a good man, So, um, you get lucky.
Yeah,
I got lucky, but I think because in terms of when you're talking about being independent, is then when he passed away, that was really hard,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. Because I mean, he took up so much space in your life, and then all
Yeah,
of a
because then
sudden
that person's not there, and you're
they're
like,
not there,
how
right?
do I navigate this? So it
But
was
what's
very
cool
hard.
is you have, what's cool is you have those memories and you have those skills that he taught you, and you're right. That is how you,
That's what I try to focus on
yeah,
instead of like get sad about it. And for a
yeah,
long time, I couldn't even talk about it. Like I couldn't even say, "Oh yeah, my dad passed away," like without just immediately like choking up and crying or something. But
yeah.
obviously, it takes time to like the processing and
Healing is not linear.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Being able to
Not
heal
linear.
about it, and I think that's a great indicator of when you start to heal from stuff is when you can then talk about it more.
Yeah,
And I like to talk about him because there's like so many just positive things
yeah,
to say about him. Actually, when my girlfriend and I were in San Francisco, there's a picture of my dad a long time ago, and he's on the trolley in San Francisco, and he's like hanging off the trolley, like smiling and laughing.
yeah.
And we remade that photo on the
That's so,
trolley.
that's so sweet.
Yeah, so there's one of me doing the same thing, just
Aw,
smiling and hanging off the trolley.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that was cool to
That's
make.
super sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was really cool to make.
I love that. Aww.
Yeah, I'll show it to you. It's really cool. I mean, it's not exactly, but it's just great, because
Right.
we look the same. Like our smile obviously look like each other. So
Yeah. Okay. I would.
yeah.
I wish I could have met your dad.
Oh yeah, my dad would have like I don't know been singing with you or I don't know.
Yes. Let's
He was just
go.
chill. He was just chill. Like if I had friends over or something, like he just didn't bug us. Like yeah, he was just almost too chill. Like I remember my mom went on like a trip to California for like a training for work, and he
Mhm.
like just let me take the car like whenever I wanted to. But the thing is, he taught me how to drive, so like he knew I could
Yeah.
drive.
Right. Right. Right.
So I was like, "Can I just take the car?" And I didn't drive far, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Um, and it's funny because I did the same thing with one of my ex girlfriend's sons. I was like, "Oh yeah, just take the car and drive to Starbucks." And she's like, "Do you trust him?" And I was like, well, we're about to find out. And then he ended up getting on the H3 and like getting stuck somewhere. And I was like, just pull over, we'll come get you. But that's trial and error of learning.
Right. Yeah,
Like
and it's all
number
about
one,
having
did
that
you die? No. Number two, you
understanding.
just drove on the H3 for the first time. Congratulations. Not that
You're right.
hard.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. You're just driving faster.
Yeah.
Like
That's
there's more stop and goes in towns. I don't know. It's my theory is like there's certain kids, you give a little trust and you just see, I don't know. I'm not a parent, so I can't say. But
yeah.
Um, yeah, my uncle Buck has kind of turned into like a second dad in a lot of ways. And on Father's Day, we hung out together and we both just talked about our dads. So it was cool.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
And his dad passed away as well. So, we can talk about that.
okay. Okay. Like, and it's also good to have people to just talk to. And you're right about that. Like the getting to the point where you can talk about it. It's nice
Yeah.
to hear. It's nice to hear. It's nice to hear the healing part of it, like the
Yeah.
journey of like how far like you've come like with all the things. And it's also really nice to hear all the memories because to me that's what's important. Like when people are here on Earth, it is not about like these little technical things. It is like enjoying your time with them. It is appreciating that because we are all in our own, like we're all our own separate people,
Yeah.
appreciating that someone invited you into their bubble or you are in their bubble, and like you get to learn things about them and like how unique they are, versus the world, and like just little characteristics about them and things that you love about them. Like it is a wonderful thing to get to know a person and to like actually get to know a person, and then to like take what they teach you and apply it to your life. That is how they live on.
What's
But I
actually
think
funny and interesting is I really recently found out that my close group of friends here,
uh,
like I think there's like four or five of us, all have had dads that passed away. And like we
really,
just recently figured that out
yeah, and then
because
you
we
feel
make
like
like
it's
dead
never
dad
enough,
jokes all the time.
bro. The trauma.
Um, Again, like it all depends on but it does make you think about how you are to other people because if I can miss somebody so much because they were so great to me,
Yeah,
then it makes me think, okay, well, I need to think about how I am to other people because it's not that, you just want to be missed, but it's like, when you think about that, like when you are gone, like what are people going to say about their time with you?
yeah. Or
I
what
mean,
you learn.
it's better that somebody has all nothing but good stories instead of that you were just a douche the whole time, right? So
Yeah,
that's kind of what his death like brought for me in terms of like reflection.
yeah, yeah.
But I think even though I was a jerk sometimes, like I think my dad like knew that about me. I mean, he knew everything about me, obviously. But I remember things like I would just fall asleep, maybe like watching TV or something, and he would like carry me into my bed.
Ah,
And it's like you kind of remember those things as a memory,
yeah.
and then when you talk about your experience, I'm like, dang, like it's so different to be so independent
It
too,
is.
you know?
It's different.
And like independence is like something like I learned. I still kind of had my parents to fall back on more emotionally and like advice, but I never really had them to fall back on like financially.
Right.
So but to me that was good because it's like then I had to force myself to make my own way. But
Right.
because my dad gave me entrepreneurial skills, it was like at least I had some skills to be
Yeah.
able to, you know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
had independence there, but there was a lot of emotional dependence on my parents, right? Um, and I mean, I'm sure you have that with your grandma and your chosen dad to
Yeah.
some
Well,
extent.
I have just a big appreciation for him, because like there's not a lot of good. I'm not even gonna say just like men, just like people in general. There aren't a lot of good people out here, and when you find good people, you should hold on to them because
Yeah.
and at least in my experience, like, I didn't grow up with a dad. I actually, to be completely honest, I did not grow up around a lot of men in general. So
Hmm.
now, later on in life, like now, like men coming into my life and like being in the role that I could have been experiencing back then, I feel like it's perfect that it's now, because now I really have an appreciation. Now it's not like, oh, I'm not comparing myself to the kids at school because, oh, they have a dad and I don't. Now, right now, I
Yeah.
just feel like I'm just living life. Like it's nice to be like, oh yeah, my dad said blah blah, or my dad's doing this. Like it's nice, like that part of my language has changed. That I could say like, oh, my dad is blah blah. Like I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
have a big appreciation for him just being in my life and like choosing to be in my life. Like because like when I said like
Hmm.
we're all such different people, and you like get to know people and you're in their bubble. Like you chose to be in my, okay, let's go.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I
It's
appreciate that. Yeah.
it's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big deal.
100%. 100%.
I think this is a good one.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think people might like how deep we got on this one and some memories.
Yes, you have really great memories of it. I love that. I really love. I love. I just you because I've heard you talk about your dad like a lot actually, like since we've known each other, and
Mhm.
everything that I've heard is like just super cool, and I've seen just like how it's like shaped and molded you, and I'm like, you're so cool, and I really do wish I like could have met your dad.
Yeah, and um, there were people that were at his funeral that never got to meet him, but they were close to me, so obviously they came. Um, and we honored him, so we wore our uniforms. So there's a picture with me, two of my really close buddies, my brother, and my she was my wife at the time, but my ex-wife, and we all had our uniforms on, just to honor him in a different way. Because my dad was very fond of like the military, and like he always wanted to join and he couldn't because he was deaf in one ear. I always
Oh,
forget about that. I always forget that he was deaf. Like
yeah,
I freaking forget about that all the time.
yeah.
But
Uh,
and well, that's kind of why I brought up the when I was talking to him about learning sign language. And so it was funny that he made a joke about that. But
mood. Mood.
yeah, he was deaf, so that was a challenge. I did see that as a little bit of a challenge between my parents and communication. But
Yeah.
they were married for almost 45 years before he passed away.
Whoa.
Yeah, my mom's not gonna like remarry or nothing, she's
Right.
yeah, she's
Yeah.
just
Just
yeah.
content.
But that's a long time. I mean, it's a long time.
It is.
Yeah.
But that says a lot about him. Like someone is able to tolerate you for 45 years. Like
Yeah.
someone loves you in that way for 45 years. It's a long,
Yeah. It's a long time, bro.
it's a very long time.
I can't even talk to anyone for 45 minutes. No, just kidding.
I literally was about to say 45. My attention span is that of a noodle.
Is that of a
so,
noodle?
uh, 45 minutes, and I'm like, I
No,
can't believe we're touching.
yeah, we did good. We did good on this podcast.
Yeah,
The two
36.
that we did. Do you have any last thoughts or advice, or do you still wonder a little bit of the backstory?
No,
Like, do you ask your grandma, or you don't even give a shit?
not
Like, you're not even
anymore.
gonna open the can of worms.
Definitely when I was younger, but not anymore. I don't care. I don't care. And
Yeah,
now
yeah,
I
yeah.
just joke about it. I be like, I went out. I'm like, my dad went out to go get some milk and he never came back. That's why I'm lactose intolerant. like that's why,
That's I can't.
like
My
it's a
dad went
joke
to go get
now.
the pack of
It's
cigarettes.
he never came. That's why I be joking. Like
That's
I can
funny,
joke
bro.
now and like it doesn't hurt. Like and that also shows just like a level of maturity. So
I think that's a coping mechanism too, though. It's like
oh,
a
the
little
joke,
bit.
the joking part.
A little bit, yeah,
Oh,
a little bit.
100%,
Yeah, yeah.
a million percent. It's
I love shocking people and like making dead dad jokes. I love it.
oh yeah, because they
You know.
never know what to expect.
Well, what's funny
Never.
is I have a friend that had a dad that was like horrible to her, and so when we talk about our father, she has nothing but bad things to say.
Yeah.
And so I'm just thankful that I have nothing but good things to say. So
If you would have talked to me a
you know,
couple years ago, I wouldn't have had anything good to say about a dad. For real,
right.
actually, like I
Well,
mean,
I'm really glad there's somebody there for you at least.
it's nice, and yeah, thank you. And I'm glad that you got to experience a good dad. Like, there's
Yeah.
there's definitely a difference between a dad and a father. But I feel like your dad presented both.
Yeah, yeah, he was, yeah, for sure. for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, like he gave me that like fatherly advice, but then I would get pissed off sometimes, and then other times I'd be like,
You're
whatever, bro,
good. You're good.
whatever. Like we got silver, but like it wasn't good enough. Like whatever, you know.
Now we
But
I would just be like, "Hey, you did it!" Like,
you know.
like
But anyway,
step up.
guys, get my merch.
Get the merch.
Follow Alexis.
Bye.
We're gonna do more podcasts soon. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. Thanks for watching Lucy's Paradise Podcast. Aloha, guys.
Aloha.
Bye.